Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. You're on with Heat and Jules. Remember, I am Jules. We have Heat right over here. And today we are doing our second stream. We will be talking about the West Mesa bone collector murders in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Um, so, what we will start with is just giving a little background behind it. I know he's been doing lots of information into it. So we'll get started with her. So it's all yours.
Okay, so we're just going to talk about the West Mesa bone collector that they never solved the crime in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's still an open case, a cold case. So what happened was in 2009, a lady was walking her dog and her dog found a bone, and that's not necessarily abnormal for a dog to find a bone when you're walking, but she thought the bone looked, a little bizarre, so she sent it to her sister. I think it was her sister or sister-in-law. I'm pretty sure it was her sister. And her sister was a registered nurse, and her sisters thought it looked like a femur. So they called the police, and then after that, they discovered 11 bodies, women, 11 women, and unfortunately, an unborn. One of the women were pregnant, and an unborn baby's bones were found also. Um, they all were involved in sex work or um, that type of lifestyle, except for one. She was only 15, but she was with her cousin when she went missing, and her cousin was involved in that, and they were found buried next to each other, which is very sad. She was only 15. There was another young girl. She was 15. She was the only one that wasn't from Albuquerque, and she was the only one that wasn't a Hispanic um, nationality. She was African American. She was um, a runaway. She was another one that was only 15 years old. Unfortunately, they still don't know who did this. So they do have suspects. They don't know if it was a serial killer or if they were involved in some type of like human trafficking or something.
Jason had just asked that question whether it was a human trafficking.
How come he's not coming up on my thing?
Should be on the,
Oh, my comments. Let me see. I gotta change
yeah.
this. Oh, hi, Jason. Yeah, so they don't know if it was involved in sex trafficking. The reason why they think it might be involved in sex trafficking is because a 15-year-old girl that was from out of state. She was originally from Oklahoma, but she had ties to Texas and Colorado. So that could be a possibility. They do have two main suspects, which would be Joseph Blee, and he is now in jail for uh, rape. Uh, they found his DNA. He was raping like school aged people or something, but those were like years prior to when he got arrested, when DNA evidence came out. But he consistently insists that he had, no ties to the murders or to the victims, but he did, according to his cellmate, that he didn't know told him that he did know the victims. When the victims were found, they were found with no jewelry, no clothes, no nothing like that. The only thing that they all had in common was trash bags, and but due to them being buried in the desert in the West Mesa, when they did the autopsies, there was very few. They couldn't find it. There just was no tissue for them to do a lot of DNA and stuff like that. So, um, unfortunately, they don't have that now. What I do find interesting is New Mexico does actually have a bill in place that is going through the process right now to be passed. That if it does pass, they'll be able to get the DNA from the deceased suspect. Because I'll tell you about that in a second. There's also another suspect that is deceased that they think could possibly be him. Um, and that might be able to give the girls some justice. Because all these most of these girls also had children that they left behind, and the only positive thing, they found their bodies, so at least their children can grow up and know that they didn't make the choice to leave them in this world, that their lives were taken from them. uh, but if the bill does pass, then they'll be able to get the DNA from the deceased suspect, and maybe they could find some information on him. And he was, I just want to get his name for you because I always pronounce it wrong.
Oh, I have it right here.
Yeah,
Lorenzo Montoya.
yeah. So he lived in a trailer, like 2-3 miles away from the Mesa bone collector site, and there was like a trail to get to this site. He was actually caught. So apparently he, a stripper or whatever the case may be, was brought back to his house. And he did not know her boyfriend. Some people say it was her, her pimp slash boyfriend. I don't know exactly what the story is there, but he didn't know that he was in the car waiting for her, and after about an hour or so that went by, he went looking for her, and they had a confrontation, and he ended up shooting and killing the suspect. And unfortunately, they killed that worker at that time. She was dead, and she was being, like, tied up and stuff like that. So he was actually kind of caught in the act of doing something, and then when they investigated, the police found all kinds of like weird uh, tape, videotapes in his house, one of like activities going on, and then it cuts off, and you could actually go on YouTube and see this. They actually have it posted on YouTube. There's After that cuts off, they don't show that part, but they show a part, and what it appears to hear, like, duct tape and like garbage bags and stuff. It's kind of very chilling to listen to if it is like the serial killer doing that. Um, but after he passed away, though, there was no more murders after that, which, you know, but there's also a whole nother group of girls that were missing in 2006. They've never found their body, so I don't know if that's, connected or related. But after, he passed away, nobody else was found in West Mesa that went missing in West Mesa and till, when they found their bodies in 2009. Um, it's very sad that they didn't, these people never got their families never got justice of who did this to them. Hopefully they will. Like I said, there's still a bill, and I believe that everything that's done in the dark does come to light. Um, what else? Any questions for me? Anybody have any questions? No questions?
No, it doesn't look like we have any at this time. So, what I'll go ahead and do is I'm going to put up a slide presentation. We actually went up and let's see if we can add the stage. Okay, so this is the thumbnail, obviously, that we started off with. But we went up to the site of where there is a monument for them. It is a park. So actually, it's a very nice thumbnail he came up with. Um, yes, Jason, it is sad that human trafficking is a big thing we have to deal with nowadays. So these are the young ladies that were killed. They were the victims of the bone collector. Sorry if my centering wasn't well done there. Let's see. We have Cinnamon Elka, which is she's 32. We have Doreen um, Marquez, and she's 24 at the time. Victoria Chavez was 26. Jamie Barella, was 16, and she was the cousin of Emily Salazar. I believe she's in the picture too.
She's
And
right below.
yeah, she's right below her. That's Evelyn Salazar. That's her cousin, and she was 27. And you have Michelle Valdez, who's 22, and she was the one that was pregnant at the time of death. Then you have Julie Nieto, 24, uh, Veronica Romero, 28, uh, and then you got Selenia Edwards at 15, Virginia Oliver, oh no, Virginia Oliver, or Clavin, I'm sorry, 24, and the last one is Monica Candelaria, that was 22. Um, well, that's an interesting thing to bring up there, Jason. Yeah, um, Jason's saying there's a lot of similarities in appearance. Most serial killers have methods of operation that align with a certain type slash preference. Very well said, Jason. So the next slide we go on to is we're going to start. This is you drive up to the West Mesa. Mesa, for those that don't know Spanish, Mesa does mean table. So this means it's up on a plateau. That's what they call, you know, anything that's up on a plateau, they'll call it a mesa. So I did film some, and I forgot to put it in the slide presentation. Um, but so this is the park that the city has built to them, and which was kind of strange because if you drive up a quarter mile to the end of the block, it's like they're barely going to start construction. It's still barren desert there. So there's, you know, it's still, you never know what could be found up there. So um, we may never, as time goes by, we may never know. We did try to find out where the location of the trailer was, but there was no indications online, because I would have liked to have traveled to like a location where the trailer was and taken a picture there. But I'm sure if there's houses built there now, I don't think anybody wants to know that there are houses built on the site of where the murder was. So this was at the memorial site, and so obviously I shrank it down too much, but I can open up and read it on my drive here. Just give me a few moments, but as you go in, this plaque is there. It is for the memorial. Um,
Do you want me to read it, Julian? I could read it.
You got it.
Yeah. So Memorial Park, in memory of 11 women who were gone too soon. A limb has fallen from the family tree. I keep hearing a voice that says, "Grieve not for me. Remember the best times, the laughter, the song, the good life. I lived while I was strong. Continue my heritage. I'm counting on you. Keep smiling, and surely the sun will shine through. My mind is at ease. My soul is at rest, remembering all how I truly was blessed. Continue traditions, no matter how small. Go on with your life. Don't worry about the falls. I miss you all dearly. So keep your chin until the day comes when we're together again." Arthur Unknown.
Okay, so yeah, that's the plaque dedicated to everyone there, because just in memorial of all the young ladies that tragically lives were taken. Um, And let's see. Um, right here, this is a memorial for the unborn baby. And her name was going to be Michelle. And it's just basically says in memory of Michelle Valdez, unborn angel. And well, the mother was Michelle Valdez, so I guess they went along with the same name. Or Michelle Valdez is. I'm sorry, I get it. I didn't see the apostrophe s there.
Yeah, I
Unborn
was just
angel.
gonna say it's yeah, it's her. But they didn't. She probably didn't name her yet. So
Or they didn't have. Did they know if it was a girl or a boy yet at the
I
time?
didn't read anything. I didn't read anything about that.
So we don't know. Um,
I'm sure they probably don't. Well, I don't know. They said they
so
just found the bones of the baby.
so what happened here? Did it not play? This is where I had
You miss
the
Ruka,
bit.
the dog. You had the dog up, but then he went.
I know I had Ruka, but I this was supposed to be a part where well, I'll probably import it again, which is the video of us walking the.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is Ruka. Probably you could say last but not least. I'm sorry about the noise upstairs. I think this guy works on stolen bicycles. I swear. Um,
I I don't hear any noise.
okay, no, that sounds like an air compressor, and I always see him come by with bike parts, and I mean some expensive ones. So this is Ruka. Um, uh, so Ruka is the dog that found the bone. So this is a little monument to her. So I thought that was cool that they did that.
I did. I thought that was really nice of them.
Mm-hmm.
She has she has since passed, sadly.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna add a video. Let's see if we can get it in here. Video file. Um, and let's see. Let's see. Is it
Oh, it's me again.
okay? Hold on. Let me try to get this.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see Thomas back there.
Oh wait. There. Mhm.
We are just over at the West Mesa
Yes, Ruka.
Memorial,
Ruka. Jason just put that Ruka
um,
helped families found
looking
their loved
at
ones for
where
closure. Yes, he
11
did. Dogs are
women
God. Are God
were found dead,
spelled
including an
backwards.
unborn child. Um, so we are at the Memorial Park. This is still a cold case, so we will be doing a video. This is actually past, but this video will be placed in the future.
Which is actually the present right now.
I thought this was really nice. The memorial park they had for them.
Right.
So that the victims are never forgotten, and young girls need to recognize, or not even young girls. Everybody needs to recognize, to stay safe. Be aware of your environment, and do whatever you got to do to protect yourself.
And I just kind of took a loop around, you know, and I would cut and then go to the next name, just kind of so you could see the names. Obviously, we've mentioned them earlier, and I'll be able to actually load that video I said earlier. He, um, and Michelle Valdez there was the one that had the little one. Here's the monument to them again, to the baby again. As you can see, there's housing now there.
So this is where it actually happened.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, yeah, that was real cool. And I do one thing I did miss, and I didn't put it in there, and many of you may not notice, and it kind of bugged me. But I had started the video, and then I stopped it, um, and um, I took out Jamie. I think it was no, it was Julie Nieto's name, and I believe it is no, it's this one. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. Um, yes, Jason, this is still a cold case.
Yes, they still.
Um,
There was also what I find also is weird too. Or we could talk about it later. You want to finish this?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
we
Oh
could
no,
we'll finish this and then
yeah. Go ahead.
I'll talk after
Yeah,
we're
no,
done.
and then so now that one wasn't what I wanted. Uh, yeah, this is cold, Jason. Flat out cold. Go ahead. Pete.
Okay, so I also find very strange that some of I think it was more than one victim, but definitely one of the victims' friends back in when she was first found missing. Let me see. Yeah, in 2003, Monica Chelange. Julian, you want to help me with that name? Monica Candelaria.
Candelaria.
Candelaria, yeah,
Candelaria.
yeah. That her friends told police in 2003 that they heard Monica had been murdered and stabbed and placed in the Mesa. So obviously, and there was I read other places too that I think it was Julia Natato or whatever. I
Yeah.
think don't
Yeah.
quote me. I think that her friends also heard that. So somebody had to know something. Like who are these people that were, who were saying these rumors? And obviously, unfortunately, the rumors were true. Kind of like where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's also rumors going around that Cinnamon Elk was saying that there was a dirty cop. So is that the reason why she, ended up missing? I don't know, but they're the rumors that were going around. But if somebody was saying those rumors, somebody obviously knew something about the case and still does.
And that's the thing is to find the person that does know it
Yeah.
and start from there.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't want to say anything because they'll be afraid. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's afraid
Hmm.
of, it's a bad. I mean, obviously the guy doesn't have a problem doing bad. You know what I mean? Harming somebody. So they
Yeah,
all, like I said, they all had, they were all involved in a high risk population that can, it's very risky to do that for a living. And unfortunately, they got wrapped up in it and lost their lives and left children behind. And
the
hopefully get their justice.
so basically the summary I've gotten here from Gemini AI. So it's wonderful how these things can now develop and make something for you. They say the West Mesa murders refer to a series of killings of 11 women and girls whose remains were found buried in a shallow grave on the West Mesa of Albuquerque, New Mexico in 2009. The case, believed to be the work of a serial killer, is one of the largest unsolved scenes in the United States. Um, on February 2nd, 2009, a woman was walking her dog near a housing development in the area, and her dog discovered a human femur. The woman reported the find to the Albuquerque PD. The discovery led to an extensive excavation and lasted for weeks, eventually uncovering remains of 11 women and a fetus. The victims had been buried between 2001 and 2005. Um, and they were ranging from 15 to 32. Um, and like we said, they all were, in the same type of work. They were also known to be addicts. And
Not
then
all of them. The 15-year-old girl,
and they said, and the 15-year-old,
Jamie, she was not
and
involved in that.
yeah, uh, the women were often vulnerable and had been reported missing before the remains were found. So we already went over the names. The case is a cold case, and the identity of the person of the people responsible remains unknown. The killer has been given the nickname the West Mesa Bone Collector. The APD has dedicated a cold case that continues to investigate leads and retest evidence using new forensic technologies. A reward of up to $100,000 is offered for information that leads to the arrest and conviction. And then it does list the two people we went over right now that are the biggest suspects, uh, which are Lorenzo Montoya and Joseph Blee, or Blea. Um, but yeah,
I guess that Joseph Blee too. They also like because the victims didn't have no clothes or jewelry; they were stripped of all
yeah,
that. But I guess his wife and daughter was saying that they found clothes and jewelry, women's clothes and jewelry, in his house or in his shed. They found that there too. That's another reason that would make him a suspect. But
and
he is in jail ever, and he consistently denies it.
the other thing is that there was satellite imaging pulled up, and what you said, it showed tire tracks and a vehicle there at times.
From the years 2003 to 2005, it shows the tire tracks. Before that, there was no tire tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And it also shows, like, as the days go by, like, every time it would show undisturbed earth, like grass and stuff, every time there was a new burial site. So you would be able to see every time there was a new burial site.
Right.
Sad.
Which is sad that they couldn't detect it that much earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That they couldn't.
Well, they probably weren't looking for nothing, so you know how that goes. You're not looking, so.
You have anything else, Pete?
You covered the satellites.
I'm gonna see if I can pull up in here what the West Mesa used to look like. Just because we went that's possible, Jason. It is possible that
Yeah. Well, that's what the thing is, that like when they were doing the autopsies of the girls, because they had no clothes, no jewelry, no nothing like that, and because they were buried in the desert in this heat and the dry, there was like no tissue to be sampled. So that is, but now they, like I said, they do have that one bill in place that if it passes, they'll be able to take DNA from the from one victim, or not the one victim, the suspect that was
so
that are footage.
this is just about a quarter mile up from the park. It's like the end of the block, actually. This is what the West Mesa used to look like. Obviously, it didn't have a curb or anything, but it's just hills, and and they're like plateaus at certain points. That's what they'll call it, the West Mesa. It's flat right here. So as we left, we did try to get an image so we could just wondering what it would look like. As you can see, it's barren, pretty much desert. So I think one of the big things is that you know you get a pretty good perception from being in now a developed part of town, which is across the street from here. You have this on the other side, which is what it was less than 20 years ago. So that my interest will be to see if they ever start developing this area, what will happen.
If they find any more bodies, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah,
Yeah, because they're still missing
that would
girls.
be, yeah. If they're still missing girls, I mean, look at how much
They
territory
went
there's right
missing. No,
here.
they went missing in 2006. So then that, if that were the case, then that Montoya he wouldn't be a suspect no more because he got killed before that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's just if you got all this land here, just you never know. Um, and this is just right in that vicinity. This is us just traveling down the way. People use their off-road vehicles here. I can tell there's plenty of trail. Um,
I don't think the graves are real. I think that they were pretty shallow too.
yeah, they were shallow because if it came up like that, uh, that's why normally bury people with 6 feet under. It would take and they probably use a specific type of dirt. But if it's sand, like most of it is probably here, sand. What happens is if I were to bury this rock right here in sand, what happens is the sand keeps going underneath it, so it slowly works its way back up, and so eventually it's going to pop back up out of the dirt or out of the sand. So that's probably what happened with this femur that Ruka found. Um, was it was already working its way up, and it finally did. It took its time, but as the pebbles of sand got underneath it, you know, um,
Yeah. Well,
they they should have.
rebuilding it out there too, so they're probably disturbing.
Yeah, they're mm-hmm.
And to
It
think
probably
that
caused.
yeah, to think that if that land wasn't ever being built up, they might have never even found the bodies.
Correct. Never had the justice for these people. Do you have anything else you'd want to share, Pete?
No, I think we covered everything. Anybody have any questions?
I think right now, Jason, are you okay on questions? Yeah, I think we're good. So I think what we can do is start. If you guys do have any questions, please do feel free to put them in the comments down below. Also, please do hit a like, subscribe to the channel. We're going to start looking at our next topic, and if anything else does update on this, we will do an update to it.
Yes.
So yeah, Jason's saying it's an interesting presentation. So please, like I said, please subscribe, comment, and hit a like. I do want to.
Oh, what's her name?
Yadira.
Yeah, she
Yadira.
just. Hi.
Hey, Yadira. Yeah, these are my two OG or GOAT mods right here, the greatest of all time. Um, but so yeah, Yadira, we were just closing off. Feel free to watch the presentation on the channel uh, as we close out. But it was still great to see you here. I may stream after this in about, I'll say at 8 o'clock. I'll start a stream, and then we'll go on from there. So we can do, or so have a good night, everybody. Great to see you here once again. Please do hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below anything you'd like to see on the channel.
Thank you.